Welcome to the Explainer. Most of us treat hair care like a frantic 15-minute dash right after a shower, or maybe a desperate scramble with a hot iron before running out the door. But the science? The science tells a completely different story. True hair health isn't just an isolated event. It's a continuous, 24-hour biological cycle. And by understanding what your scalp and strands actually need from morning to night, you can literally transform your hair's thickness, shine, and resilience.
So, let me ask you something that completely divides the beauty world. When is the absolute best time to apply hair oil? Are you a morning slicker, smoothing it on before stepping out? Or do you drench your strands right before your head hits the pillow? Well, the truth is, there's no single right answer. It relies entirely on the biological goals you set for your hair at that specific time of day.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for decoding this 24-hour timeline. First, we've got morning, shield and shine. Second, evening, deep scalp nourishment. Third, the science of massage. Fourth, sleep, the silk guardian. And finally, we'll wrap up with your daily blueprint.
All right, kicking things off with part 1, morning, the shield and shine phase.
When the sun comes up, your hair's needs shift dramatically from repair to active protection. It's about to step onto a battlefield of UV rays, pollution, wind, and heat styling. You need a shield. We all know that morning rush to tame the frizz, right? Well, here is your foundational rule. In the morning, oil is purely for styling, frizz control, and protection. You want light oils, and you literally only need a few drops applied to the mid-lengths and ends. You do not want to oil your scalp in the morning. Nighttime oiling is the exact opposite. Night is for deep repair. That's when you bring out the heavy oils, apply a generous amount, and really focus on feeding the hair follicles while you sleep.
And this is exactly why you need to choose your oils based on their molecular structure. It's like picking the right tool for the job. For your morning shield, reach for light oils. Think argan oil, which softens and knocks out frizz without weighing you down, or jojoba, which absorbs super quickly and regulates sebum. But at night, that's when you bring in the heavy hitters. Coconut oil has this amazing low molecular weight lauric acid, allowing it to penetrate deep into the hair shaft to prevent protein loss. And castor oil is packed with ricinoleic acid, acting as a powerful anti-inflammatory for your scalp tissue.
Moving right along to part 2, evening. This is where deep scalp nourishment takes center stage.
As the sun goes down, those environmental threats vanish, and your body kicks into cellular recovery mode. This is your prime window for deep conditioning. But prepping your hair for bed is a physical process, and it takes a little care. First, always detangle starting from the bottom up to the roots. This stops unnecessary snapping. Next, layer in those heavy nighttime oils or serums to lock the moisture in. And finally, throw your hair into a protective style. A loose French braid or a low ponytail is perfect to minimize all the tangling and friction you'd otherwise get from tossing and turning.
All right, part 3. The science of massage. Time to geek out on some cellular biology.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how modern science validates centuries of traditional Ayurvedic scalp massage. It all boils down to an incredible process called mechanotransduction. At the base of every single hair follicle, there's a control center called the dermal papilla. When you massage your scalp, you're applying a physical, mechanical stretching force directly to these cells. The cells actually sense the stretch, interpret it as a biological cue, and then upregulate the genes that promote hair growth while suppressing the genes linked to hair loss. You are literally stretching your hair into growing.
And the data backing this up is just wild. A landmark 2016 study by Tsubuhoy and colleagues looked at this exact mechanism. They found that just 4 minutes, yes, a measly 4 minutes, of daily standardized scalp massage over 24 weeks led to a measurable increase in hair strand thickness. And this wasn't just people guessing, it was proven through objective photographic analysis.
On top of that, massage actively fights stress. We've all heard that stress makes your hair fall out, right? That's a condition called telogen effluvium, massive diffuse hair shedding triggered by high cortisol levels. While scalp massages activate your parasympathetic nervous system, this significantly lowers those cortisol levels in the scalp tissue, making it a far less hostile environment for your follicles.
But listen, technique is absolutely everything. You can't just blindly scratch at your head and expect results. Here is the evidence-based way to do it. Step 1. Position the flat pads of your fingers on your head. Never use your nails. Step 2. Apply stationary pressure. This is the secret sauce. You want to move the scalp itself in small circles. Do not rub or slide your fingers across the skin, because that just causes friction and breakage. Step 3. Systematically cover your entire head. And Step 4. Keep this up for about 4 to 15 minutes a day.
Part 4, sleep. Enter the silk guardian.
So, what exactly is happening to your delicate hair cuticles during the 8 hours you're dead to the world? For decades, we've all just slept on cotton. But under a microscope, cotton fibers are covered in countless microscopic hooks that catch, pull, and tear at your hair cuticles all night long. Plus, cotton absorbs up to 27% of its weight in moisture, basically sucking all those expensive serums right out of your hair. Silk, on the other hand, only absorbs about 11%. It has a perfectly smooth fiber surface with incredibly low friction. Silk lets your hair just glide.
Now, if you're going to invest in a silk pillowcase, you absolutely have to know this term, mame. Mame is the measurement standard for silk weight and density. Think of it exactly like thread count for cotton sheets. A higher mame means a denser, more durable fabric that's packed with a higher concentration of beneficial silk proteins.
And when you actually make the switch to high-quality silk, the math is undeniable. Laboratory testing proves that hair strands encounter exactly 43% less friction on silk surfaces compared to standard cotton. You are quite literally cutting your nighttime wear and tear almost in half. And that translates to real-world magic. Users report a massive 37% reduction in morning frizz and hair breakage after consistent use. Just imagine waking up and your morning routine takes half the time because your cuticles are still lying perfectly flat.
So the crucial point is knowing exactly what to buy. You don't want silk that's too thin or it'll fall apart in the wash, but the absolute heaviest silks can actually trap a little too much heat. According to the research, the golden ratio is right between 22 and 25 mame. That specific weight perfectly balances long-term durability with the maximum therapeutic benefits for your hair and skin.
Finally, Part 5, your daily blueprint.
Okay, we've covered a ton of ground today. Let's pull all this incredible science together into one definitive 24-hour blueprint. Number 1. In the morning, apply a few drops of a light oil, like argan, to your mid-lengths and ends as your daily shield. Number 2. At night, gently detangle from the bottom up. Number 3. Apply your heavy oils and do a 4-minute stationary scalp massage to trigger those growth genes. Number 4. Secure your hair in a loose, protective braid. And number 5. Sleep on a 22 to 25 mame pure silk pillowcase to preserve all that hard work.
The science is right there in front of us, guys. Healthy hair isn't about buying a single miracle product. It's a 24-hour biological commitment. It's about treating your hair with respect every single hour of the day. So take a hard look at your current habits. Are you stretching your follicles to grow, or are you tearing them out on a cotton pillowcase? What is the very first thing you're going to change in your routine tonight? Take this blueprint, put it into action, and watch your hair completely transform. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and keep learning.